I get the microphone ready. Damn, that boy ready to go to bed right now. Coming like Trump. Work.
I'm gonna do a fuck flip into the bed.
Man,
I'm whip that back real quick.
Man, I've been talking already. Man, my bad.
This right here, fresh box.
My bad, T.
Here, you go for it. I gotta open my stogie still. I gotta cut it.
I gotta move this bitty. What you doing with the camera, Jay?
My bad, dog. You know.
Yeah, I want to talk about. Holy smoke! That bitty tastes like chocolate ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Fudge, man. But he's barking. Woo!
We just had mad food, yo. Sitting down to a nice stogies, mint, dude.
Don't let T lie to you. You had about a plate and a half. I said, where's the mac and cheese? What's up, everybody? My name's Big Skoom.
This time, Jonathan.
You are watching.
You're watching Skoom Speech.
Boom, baby. I want to get jumped in. Me and Tyler just left the freaking hibachi spot. Funny story, right? Me and Tyler only really knew each other for a little bit. So we go to the hibachi spot. That's where they do all that crap, right? So Tyler, I might have been his first time getting hibachi too. It was one of my first times. So I think I went first, right? I put noodles, meat, stuff like that. Tyler grabs hard-boiled eggs and bacon, hands it to the guy. Did you tell him sauce or anything? You remember?
No, probably not, dude. I don't remember this story. This is probably a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So the guy made Tyler bacon and eggs at a Chinese sushi hibachi spot. Crazy.
Just throw it together, put it on a plate. I probably got like a side of rice, like white rice or something.
Oh,
you know? Probably not even.
Tyler got bacon and eggs. But
bacon and eggs at the hibachi spot.
I want to talk about something real quick that we were just talking about.
Yeah, jump into it.
About energy not... They say, what is the Tesla quote? Energy can't be destroyed, only converted.
Oh, you're right. Correct.
And we just had this conversation, right? And I'm like, I think that might be a myth. And then you were like, nah, man, that's Tesla, man. He's probably
Nikola Tesla said that, baby.
So here is where I'll keto this. Because,
all right, sure.
Let's say something... I don't know, right? I'm getting technical here. I'm not a scientist. But let's say something has to convert. Doesn't that thing have to, like, die and be reborn in a sense? Like, how can you convert something without it going away and then becoming something else in a sense?
Well, it's not the fact that it's going away, but it's just literally becoming something else. It's like turning your walk into a run.
Boom.
You don't just start sprinting. You start,
We'll get into semantics here. So what was the first thing you said? Was turning...
It doesn't die. It just turns into something else. It's just created. It's energy transfusion from one to another. It's like the idea of nucleus of a cell coming from one thing, growing into something else, but it's already in the growing stage. That's where it comes from.
To turn into something else,
mm-hmm.
Doesn't the old you have to? I would have to do something. I can't turn something into something else.
Well, I think the best way to look at this is like, say, if you're going to build a muscle, you have to first already have muscle fibers inside of your body to then build off of. So I think that's what it is. It's just a build up in the continuation of something that was once.
I feel like, so you're right. That's a great point there. It's like, whatever, having a river and turning it into an ocean, right? Sure. But still, in a sense, doesn't that river have to die for it to become an ocean? Doesn't the you who's weak and doesn't have muscle have to die to be something else? Doesn't the thing that I have to turn it into, doesn't that old thing have to, in a sense, die to be reborn or to be converted into this new thing?
So I think I understand where you're going with this. It's mentally, you got to break that old you out of a shell to create something stronger and larger or better, right? But no, because then it would go back to the idea of the river. It would then go to a drought to then turn into an ocean. I just don't think that makes too much sense.
Well, no. Like kind of like, right, there's a river, right? Somehow, some way we expose it to the ocean, and then slowly over time that ocean water, streams into the river water and it becomes an ocean or something.
Okay, so the difference between ocean water and stream, or whatever you want to call it, is the brackish water, which would be the buildup of salt water to fresh water. Correct? So
Yeah, that's true.
So all it would be was just the saltwater content. The content of the salt in the water would be overtaking the amount of fresh water. So I mean, I could agree with that.
Well, that's still. I mean, you're right. That was pretty good. Let me give some better. I didn't think he was gonna get that good on me. How about taking a freaking stream and turning it into a pond? It's all fresh water. Because you're right. You're right. So there's a stream.
So more of a challenge now.
There's a stream.
Yep.
We expose it to more fresh water. I don't know. Maybe we just dump 100,000 gallons of fresh water into it.
Sure.
And now it became a pond.
Sure.
Doesn't that idea of the stream have to die for it to be converted into a pond?
Well, no.
That was like my argument, kind of.
Well, back to the.
But you can't call it a stream anymore, right? So it said, well, the idea of the stream is dead.
Sure.
This is no longer a stream.
It's now this instead.
Exactly.
Sure. And so it would be the same idea of a single man becoming a father. He's no longer a single man. He is now something else.
Exactly.
Completely.
So didn't him who was single, in a sense, right, have to die for him to now be this man or this father? So that's how I was kind of attacking.
I can give it to you. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was attacking the whole.
Yo.
That's how I was attacking the whole energy can't be converted, blah 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 thing. But I'm sure, right, with their good science, they figured it all out. We don't have to touch that, right?
Right.
They already scientified that.
Sure. But I think
teasing.
From what Nikola Tesla was talking about was there is already energy that's around us on a regular basis all the time, no matter what, that can be converted into electricity. So you're taking this that's already here and converting it into something else.
I just don't get why would you say energy can't die, but what about I just feel like no matter what the idea of whatever it was or the identity of whatever it was.
Sure.
Since I'm now converting it to use a different word. Yeah, I'm calling it one thing. It's been converted. I definitely am going to language it with a different word.
Sure.
So whatever I used to call it had to have dissolved, died, dissipated.
Sure. So the best way I can agree with you on this one is a tadpole turning into a fish.
Yeah.
This fish is no longer a tadpole, obviously.
Yep.
But the tadpole never died. It just
the word did
grew into it.
Well, you're right, but I mean, it doesn't really make sense. But
super interesting stuff.
Yeah, because the tadpole didn't die, but the idea of the tadpole did. Does that make sense?
It just grew into something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't that be evolution, though? Everything, I guess, does go through evolution because, you're a sperm cell and then grow into a fetus and then grow into thing. Wouldn't that be evolution on a small scale? I mean, if we're not going to talk about evolution on a large scale of dinosaurs turning into gorillas, turning into humans. But the evolution of a human being would be sperm cell, tadpole,
that's interesting.
then into a fetus, then into
that's crazy.
a newborn, and then
we evolved, buddy. I haven't thought about that.
Of course, we evolved just over the time span of us.
I did do this because there was something else we talked about on one podcast. I did do a little bit of fact checking. It turns out that when it comes to Darwin evolution, apparently we didn't come from monkeys or apes or whatever.
Sure.
But what we came from and what that monkey/ape came from, whatever one it was, came from the same thing.
Sure. I can agree with that.
That's where that's how it's supposed to all fit in the whole.
I could agree with that because they're so close as far as like stem cells go. Stem cells being the chronological buildup of what all of us even are.
Okay.
Are so close. The reason why we have thumbs and they have thumbs and they have 5 toes, we have 5 toes.
Interesting.
So there's so many similarities.
Yeah.
That I could definitely see where it could come from, but.
I actually had a viewer comment on one of our videos, and he fact-checked me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was wrong. Thanks, Josh. So, I just left the F1 event for work, and I swore, I'm wrong, but I swore on the screen it said that the asphalt was as hot as the sun. I don't know if you remember me saying that.
Yeah, I remember that a little bit.
So
but I was like, dude, there's no way.
It's not true. He fact-checked, Googled it, and commented on our video. He said that it's half as hot as the sun.
Half as hot.
It was like 21,000 Celsius, or it might have been 2,100 Celsius, something like that. But
shout out to Josh. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah,
keep us on the toes. Seriously,
good,
guys, your guys' interactions with us and stuff like that, we will mention it again in the episode. So stay tuned. Drop the comments. get involved. This is a community, man. Like that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create a cult community.
There you go. I like
you
that.
know, whatever, the culture, whatever. You know, we're trying to create something here. A brotherhood, if you can.
Light up a
If you
stogie.
will. Yeah, burn down. We'll definitely tag in with you guys, man. And the more you guys interact, the more we'll interact, and you'll definitely get it. You know, you're not just here. You know.
I think you got some things for us too, right?
Yeah. So real quick, it was back to our last episode.
As of right now, it's 2025. You guys are watching this. Me and Tyler, we both want to wish you guys just a prosperous new year, right?
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
good things, have good plans.
I hope that your New Year's resolutions do come true. I hope that your New Year's parties went well.
Oh,
I hope that everybody made
that.
it home safe and everybody's family's doing good. Seriously, peace and blessings to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
Forgot about that. To be
check
honest.
this out. I'm gonna tune in real quick. So Jordan Peterson, we love talking about this guy.
Oh, interesting.
He's a freaking legend. Hands down, one of the best critical thinkers of our generation, of our times.
I love
you
that.
know, I mean, dude, as far as philosophers go, for sure.
I seen on one of his
And
lectures.
he's not even a philosopher. He's a psychologist, right?
Yeah, true.
Correct
Yep.
me if I'm wrong.
Yep. Real quick before you go, real quick. And I thought it was interesting. I feel like it was something you would say too. I seen a comment on one of his lectures, and they said that Jordan Peterson. It's right. It's just this guy's opinion. I'm not saying I agree with this, but he said Jordan Peterson is the most important person of our century. That was pretty interesting.
I could agree.
That was really
I
interesting.
could definitely agree. Most important being someone that is continuing to instill proper critical thinking, if you will.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, that's debatable still.
I mean, I would agree with it in many ways.
Sure.
But I feel like one of the main ways is because just the stance he took on like freedom of speech and
Yeah.
like, you know, potentially being forced to use words, right? We mean the pronouns. He was like, you know, it's fine if you guys wanna. What did he say? He's like, telling me what I can say is one thing, but making me say something is another thing. So I just think, you know, that was really. I don't know. They'll probably talk about that one day, like, you know, in the future.
Who, you and I?
Well, no, like
Oh, just people in
generations of
general?
four of us. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like, it
for
was
sure.
pretty
Well, I would
big
hope
event,
so.
I would think,
I
yeah.
would hope so. Just because, I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that right now just because that is such a hot topic for so many people. I don't know. I think a lot of egos get in the way, and in order to be somebody that I would really associate with, you got to destroy a lot of the ego, because I mainly get along with critical thinkers and things like that.
Yeah, he's a super critical thinker.
Yeah, people like that. So, I don't know. I don't want to get into the bandwagon and all the other BS. Of
To be slightly controversial here,
Sure.
because that's what we do here, Skoom Speech.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what we're here for.
you should see T off camera. That boy be popping off, talking about all y'all. But to be a little controversial here, he was kind of like, again, looking at all this pretty critically, and it is something that I feel doesn't get brought up or talked about with the whole, you know, trans thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Was that like there's this, you know, there's this fetish and a pretty high percentage of the population who, whatever, as the fetishes are, like they get off on dressing up in the opposite clothing.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure.
And it's just interesting, right? There's probably no way to statistically figure this all out, but it's interesting to think that, of course, right, there are, imagine some people who really do feel genuinely that, whatever, they need or want to change genders, but there's still like a small section who doesn't feel like that, who just does it like for sexual like arousal and stuff.
Yeah, sexual release of a sort.
But still like get the benefits of like, you know, of being in the transgender community, which is just like, you know, legislation and like laws. Like they have laws that protect them and things like that.
Sure.
But they may not even, like they said, there's a small population of them or a small section of them who potentially or possibly aren't really, the main focus isn't identifying with the opposite gender. It's just, it's a fetish and, right, it makes me excited, whatever, sexually. I don't know much about fetishes, but it's just a fetish that I do.
Yeah.
So I think that was pretty, just to hear him, like, just because I've never heard that brought up ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that could also go back to, well, I mean, it was like, what, the 60s and 70s, people started really cross-dressing and things like that, and then going to, like, these speakeasy-like clubs. A speakeasy, obviously, is just a place you go to drink liquor or wine or whatever, spirits, if you will, while it was under prohibition.
Yep.
And that's what a speakeasy really was. It was just a place that you could go and, hope this place doesn't get busted because it's a whole bunch of illegal spirits, So, yeah, I mean, they made their own thing, and that was all the cross-dressing scene and stuff like that. I don't know. I just personally feel like it got way out of hand, and now we are where we are. And my personal opinions, I'll keep to myself. I'll just say it plainly. I was raised on the Catholic values, so I'm sure that the rest of you guys can come to your own conclusion on that. If not, then Google it.
I thought it was just, we'll get off the topic, but I just thought it was really interesting because, again, one, I've never heard anyone bring that up. And, kind of one of the points that I got from it, he wasn't being direct about it, with what I'm about to say, but what I got from it was that, to me, it would seem and sound like, essentially, there's a group of, people with this fetish who are, like, taking advantage of the system or, the culture or whatever. Do you get kind of what I mean a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every time that you have anything at all, someone will always be there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, like say, I know we're kind of rambling on about this, but let's say I have a fetish to wear to wear women's clothes. Now with this huge movement, I could wear women's clothes out in public, get tons of like laws and just whatever it is, equality
to
and
back you up.
Yeah, when really I just have a fetish.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
That's the same thing that they're doing with the maps. You know what maps is? Minorly attracted persons. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So it's a whole movement. Right.
I've heard about that.
So it's just a way for really, how do we say this?
Taking advantage of the system.
Well, yeah, I agree. I was gonna go more grammatically correct.
Oh, here we go.
Right, like, well, I don't know.
Big words coming out. You're gonna buckle up.
I don't know how to say this. And
fact check this boy on Google right now.
Right, I don't know how to say it's not get canceled forever, but
like, it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
explain it to me. What's the word? I'll figure it out.
Well, basically,
does it have to do with two transgenders in a freaking one cup? No, come on.
No,
explain it.
A pedo.
Woo! You can't say that.
Right, exactly.
Holy smokes!
So how do you grammatically correct that word?
how do you?
That's a map.
How do you say that? How do you say that?
That's a minorly attracted person.
How do you say that diplomatically?
I don't know.
You would say.
I don't know.
You would say.
I don't know.
I mean,
you might have to chop this whole segment. I don't know.
This is how I would do it. I would say someone who's mentally ill and has an affection towards underage people.
Sure. Minors, bro. It's minors, dog. So, but that's what maps is. There's laws and regulations that are put in place for these maps. There's still the P word, though. There's still there's still chomos.
Dude, I was watching this. We're getting crazy right now, but there was this one freaking.
It's mad late at night, guys.
Yeah,
so bear with us anyway. We're popping off.
There's this guy on YouTube.
Skoom Speech after hours.
Yeah, basically. He takes To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen, and he he does like whatever, like little funny things about them as their videos are playing in the background. He's like, what are those called when you do that? Like with DJ Ghost?
Yeah, he just live reactions.
He's doing like a live reaction basically, and he says a joke, and he's like, what does he say? He's like, all right, a pedo walks into the home, and he asks the decoy, like the girl pretending to be a minor, he asks the decoy, is it alright if I use your bathroom? And she says, yeah, it's no problem as long as you pedo.
Alright, guys.
I think that's hilarious.
Look, we're gonna jump over this real quick. We're gonna do a recap back to our last episode where I was talking about what word did we use? We used
from last
being a wuss. Right? Not getting on a roller coaster?
Okay.
The boy's a wuss. He ain't getting on a roller coaster.
That was your word, not mine.
But so check it out. So Jordan Peterson said that the way to regulate emotions is to stay where you belong. Right? So staying where you belong, where you're most comfortable, is the best way to regulate your emotions.
All right.
It's the same reason, and Jordan Peterson said this, it's the same reason why somebody that works like a basic 9-to-5 job or whatever, working in a cubicle or office setting, doesn't go to a biker bar after work because that's not their emotions will be irregulated at this point. Because Now I got to worry about blood fights and all this other stuff.
Okay.
So I'll just leave the phone alone now. But so bringing that back to this was because me getting on a roller coaster or ripping a dirt bike or something like that, as I get older and more mature, I just focus on regulating my emotions and just keeping them, at bay with myself as best as possible. Keeping chakras aligned and all this stuff. I don't like excitement and all that good stuff anymore. I used to be a wild child, but now I'm chilling. And that's just why. I mean, it's something that your brain tells you, all right, I am no longer inside of my regular emotional state, and I don't like this, so I'm going to revert back to my comfort level and just stay where I am, 10 toes on the ground, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to see if there's any way I can come at this.
Yeah, I would like you to. I'll take a nice drag off this undercrown. I'm getting chocolate notes.
Okay. Let's see how we can come at this, guys. All right, we're gonna see if we can pick this apart. So one, you're making the point. Here we go.
Yeah.
You're making a point.
Sure.
And I think it's bad.
Sure.
The point you're making is stay. You stated it, so you basically said, "Hey guys, you stay where you're at, so you can regulate your emotion." You said it as if it was like a positive, and like it was almost like, I know you weren't, but as if it was almost life to give. Like, let's say someone, I love Jordan Peterson, and there's probably more to it, but let's say someone gave that advice to you. Do you think that advice is going to help you? Do you think it's helpful?
Or hinder?
Do you think it's productive?
I agree where you're going with this already,
Nice.
Because I climb trees. I've climbed trees for 7 years.
Great point.
It's a very, what do you call it, exhilarating type of thing. Especially if, you're like 100 feet up in a tree, and like you're relying on this one rope and this other rope that goes around the tree and all this stuff, the safety device locking you in. I'm sure when I first started climbing, it was more of a heart race and adrenaline rush for me back then.
Yeah.
In comparison to getting used to it, and then now it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Now it's just more of a physical wear and tear on your body. Like, your thighs feel it, you feel it. Your upper body feels it. There's a lot going on. But does it regulate my emotions anymore? No.
Yeah, but if someone...
But at the beginning it did. So if I was only going to ever stay where my emotions were only regulated, I would have never tried.
Exactly, yeah. So if someone came to you and said that before you got into tree work,
yeah,
you, in this scenario, you'd have been like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. Never got into up in the tree, never would have got into tree work, and any other great thing you're going on to go do in your life.
Right. No, I definitely agree. I mean, you do have to push those boundaries sometimes and whatever. But I don't think that skill necessarily correlates with that, because where would the skill be of going to a biker bar and possibly getting into a fight with 3 bikers over a bad game of pool?
Well, before we go on that, before I forget,
yeah,
we are going to come at Jordan Peterson right now.
Jordan B. Peterson, drop a comment below.
Yeah, I'm obviously not a sponsor of Jordan Peterson. Obviously,
no way.
Obviously not. But
I pay homage to a goat.
But this is a Nietzschean argument here, and
I would love for those two to meet. Like, I know, like, one's dead now, but dude, if those two could have clashed, that would have been legendary.
Well, I think they would have agreed on a lot. I've been trying to connect a lot of things. I've been trying to, because Jordan Peterson talks a lot about religion, but I don't want to get into it.
I wonder how agreeable of a person Jordan Peterson really is.
He says he's pretty agreeable.
Right, pretty agreeable.
Yeah.
Which means that there's no, like, pushback on a lot of his things. Which also means, well, I know that there's a lot of episodes and videos you can find that he's doing sit-downs with people, and they're trying to push back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's just a master chess player, man. Like, dude, lyrically, chess is his thing.
He cracks me up, man. He cracks me up.
But
He cracks me up. But to come at his argument, to make an argument to his point about what Jordan Peterson said, right? Jordan Peterson said, "Hey, staying in one place is a way to regulate your emotion."
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't say it was good. Maybe he didn't say it was bad.
Yeah, I don't think he was leaning towards one or the other.
But
I think he was just stating that just as a fact.
So, and that may be true, but I think there's something more fundamental and more important that regulates your emotion.
Okay.
And it's something that Nietzsche said, and I think it's thought. I think thoughts are made to regulate your emotion.
Mark Twain once said, If you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right.
I think I've heard something like that.
Yeah,
too.
that's Mark Twain.
I like that.
Mark Twain also said one that you reminded me of, which is my favorite. I never let my education get in the way of my education.
I love
which
that.
He told me that, and I was cracking
He
up.
said, I never let school.
Oh, I never let school get in the way of my education?
Yep. Yep. That is a Mark Twain quote. So yeah, I think thought is made or there to regulate your emotion. You have an emotion. I think it's thought's job to try to
overpower that.
Yeah, to try to get rid of overpower it, get rid of it. Dissipate it, bring it down, monitor it.
Because it can't always just come from
sitting and doing nothing.
well, no, not that. I was going to go to a different route. I would call it the next step of I've been doing this one thing for so long that now it's just easy to me. I don't think it can just come from skill and experience. It has to come from first in the mind.
What do you mean by that?
I know I can achieve. Like, dude, whenever I first climbed my tree, my first tree, I should say, I'm sure I was nervous, right?
Okay.
I don't remember personally.
Yeah.
It's been so long ago. But it's like, if you get caught up in the thought of, this is daunting and I might never overcome this task, or I desire to overcome this task, so my mind says I will, and I put my body to the work.
I don't know, man. The first time, it could have been beginner's luck, and I feel like you ever thought about beginner's luck? Of course, you know it's real, right? Or have seen it.
I think it's super debatable.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know, because I don't know.
You've never seen? You've never seen beginner's luck?
I argue with the idea of luck, just the word luck alone.
That's fair. We could get into that, but
yeah.
I think beginner luck is definitely 100% real because I think
the first time you drop $100 on a craps table and you win a 1,000 back. Beginner's luck.
I don't know about gambling.
Yeah, I don't know about gambling either.
But I meant like let's say you guys all know scenarios of beginner's luck, but simple one that we'll talk about. Let's say I've never played pool and you're good at pool.
Sure.
And you challenge me to a pool game.
Sure.
I've never played before and I beat you even though you practice all the time.
Scratch mad time.
Yeah,
just sinking up.
So I think that happens all the time, and I think it's because I yet don't know how hard pool actually is.
Sure.
So I can just approach it, not conceptualizing how hard this actually is, and I can just boom, 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 get them all in because I don't know how hard it is or not.
Yeah, no, that's super true. And I'll bring this to. You guys familiar with a wheelbarrow at all? Like, it's got one wheel in the front, you got to balance the weight with the two things in the back.
Oh, these kids don't know about wheelbarrows on the iPads. You on your iPad right now watching those.
Well, trust me, if you haven't dealt with a wheelbarrow yet, dude, this made me feel like a rookie. Just a few days ago, we were loading firewood inside this wheelbarrow because our tractor broke. So we were loading these giant dumpsters, like, dude, they're huge dumpsters. Okay. We were loading it with a wheelbarrow from the back of a wood pile, loading it, da-da-da-da. I watched two people go before me. They made it look mad easy. Like, I got this, right?
Okay.
I completely forgot and spaced about wheelbarrows at all. I haven't dealt with a wheelbarrow in at least 10 years now. And I picked it up and dipped it right over. Lost the whole felt like a huge rookie. But I agree with you with the beginner's luck thing of, I don't really know how hard this is. Everyone else around me makes it look super sick and easy.
Yep.
I go and try, and then my beginner's luck just wasn't there, I guess. Not that I'm a beginner with a wheelbarrow, but I completely dipped that load.
Okay.
I just laughed at myself. I was like, of course.
Yeah, I think beginner's luck are like just a whole bunch of things. Maybe like, one of your friends never golfed before, and you're going to take them golfing and they never golfed before, and they do well. Just things like that.
No, I think there's probably things that beginner's luck works for, but I think a lot of it just comes from practice and skill if you really want to be good at something. I don't know how many scenarios you can really come. Like, okay, I don't know how many people might be familiar with skateboarding, but when I was young, I skateboarded. And there was no such thing as beginner's luck trying to tray flip or a kick flip even. Heel flips, for some reason, I had a lock. But kick flip, I always just kicked the board way out behind me. It didn't work. Heel flips, beginner's luck, probably.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just autistic or something, and frickin' the way my legs kicked out naturally made the nice heel flip.
I was thinking in beginner's luck when it comes to a skateboard, just getting on for the first time or the first couple of times and just not falling is beginner's luck in itself.
Sure. I'd give it to you.
Pretty advanced, right?
I think beginner's luck in skateboarding would be if you can do like a 50-foot manual without letting the front wheels touch the ground. That'd be beginner's luck because that's pretty sick. It took me a long time to master the long distance manuals, but I loved those things. Skating on bricks. Dude, I grew up in South Carolina, and there's a place called the Market Commons. It's still there. And I got kicked out of there every week. I do it all the time, skating in the parking garages. And they had like this, me and my friends, we called it the brick row. Because it was literally a street, just nice, beautiful red bricks. And it was like perfect for skating on.
Okay.
And my friend had a golf cart, and I'd hold onto the golf cart and go, and then just hold the longest manual I could down this thing. Then Barnes & Noble was a long store, like one of the longest stores there. And I got from one corner of Barnes & Noble to the other side, and that was my first big achievement, dude.
Okay.
I felt sick.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Guys, thank you so much. Again, Happy New Year's.
Boom, thanks for tuning in with us and chilling with us again, enjoying a nice, beautiful cigar.
Heck yeah, my name is Big Skoom.
It's Tyler John the Don.
And this is
Skoom Speech.
Peace.
Deuces.